Hey guys, Shiba here. This is going to be a weird video because I never did something like this before. In fact, I made a whole script for this video. So anyways, today we are going to talk about some odd bus experiences I've had in just this year alone. And this stuff is really crazy. Like, you know, I'll include some other experiences out of this grade too, actually, to make the video longer, I guess. So yeah, so let's just get into it. Yeah, so one of the crazy experiences I've had was when my bus driver passed the kids' bus stop and started arguing with the student. The very next day, actually, he went to the stop to find the student's mom out there. And just to pause for a second, this was like in the winter too, so she was just out there for who knows how long, freezing out there. So back to the story. The bus driver opens the door. Before the student even leaves, the parent walks into the first steps of the bus and starts screaming and shouting a little bit of swear words, and from a little went to a lot of swears, and from 0 went to 100. Then guess what happens next? Cops. The cops are here trying to calm down the arguing parents, and I decide to call my dad, and he's out the house for like an hour, so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. So I have to deal with this, and it was horrible. So after like an hour, the whole thing, the whole thing stops, and kids put down the cameras. Oh yeah, did I forget that they were recording this? I was actually included in most of the videos since I was literally in the first seat. So I got the main biz. So yeah, I got the main biz the most. So yeah, everything sorta continues, and the kid was captive till the very end, and then she got released. The kids also started talking about this until I was dropped off the bus. So the very next day, the principal did come in and lecture us about paying attention to when our stop is, and because it turns out that girl, the bus driver, passed her stop, and she was just talking to her friends. Yay, so all that was all for nothing. So yeah, because the girl thought, you know, she passed her stop and went to fight. So that was a very interesting story. But the next ones won't be as bad as the other ones. Well, after this one, they won't be as bad. This story is kind of blurry to even me on how it really started, so I'm just going to do some assuming with this one. Now, like the last story, you're going to need some background information. For this story to make more sense, there's this girl. Let's call her Amnesia. And this girl is your classic, white rich girl. And this girl was your classic white rich girl. The I don't really give a rhino's butthole about your opinion type of girl. So I obviously hated her. And this boy hated her even more. So I think the girl decided to start basically talking some real smack to this boy. Like rhino butthole smack. And actually, speaking of butts, this guy really actually started fighting this girl. And midway through, he started spanking the girl. Yeah. So this girl, pretend you got those belt whoopings one more time. But the belt is his hand. And it was on the girl. So, you know, that was a little bit scarring. Also, I'm looking back at this and I forgot to say, yeah, people still had clothes on. Nobody, threw somebody's clothes off. Just in case that wasn't clear. Alright, so yeah, that was story 2. Time to get into story 3. Alright, I promise they won't be as bad as those stories now. Well, actually, depending on the way you view it, it maybe it gets worse. So actually, these two happened in the past week, and if you don't know, which you shouldn't know because I never revealed this, but I live in it. Actually, I'm not going to say the exact place, but a snowstorm was about to hit. in my area that was going to hit records as in like it's going to be as cold as it's ever been. So I actually have Wednesday and Thursday canceled because of this. So let's just say the temperatures were hitting -30. I really wish I could say I was lying about that, but I am not lying. It was actually -30 one day this week, so most kids weren't going to school at all this week. But since I have parents that want me to be successful, I had to go to school all week, besides those days I had off. And it was horrible. So Monday comes around, and I at least make it to the bus stop, but it literally felt like that weird Fortnite event that happened recently with the snow. Because imagine a blizzard, but instead of 20,000 like pieces of thick snow hitting your face, it's freaking ice pebbles the size of like a roly-poly, like hitting your head. So back to the story, I make it surprisingly to the bus, but the bus driver literally screamed at another student as we were, I left my stop to go to another one, and yeah, the bus driver screams at one of the students for not going to one of the real spots that she always picks up the girl from. And she said this like 4 times in 4 different locations. That's like 16 times until the child was let on the bus. So, yeah. So that's pretty cool, I guess. No pun intended. A wink, a wink, a winky, winky. So, yeah. Story 4 is also, in this week. So, still with the snowstorm thing, actually, this happened today. Yeah, today, while making this script. Coincidentally, but I wake up kind of late. About 24 minutes to be exact. Yes, I timed it. And I need to get ready and eat and make it to the bus in under something like 15 minutes. So I ended up making it out 5 minutes late. And when I started walking out, this like 1 foot deep snow, like it was really hard. But I'm walking out in it and I see the bus getting ready to leave. Now I'm pretty sure they saw me because the bus stopped midway through and opened its little bus window thingy and shouted something for like 4 seconds, then drove off. And I'm mad. Super mad. Why? Because it's -10 outside and I almost got frostbite on my lips from trying to run to my bus. And to have it just skirt and hit the dab like Wiz Khalifa, it's just disrespectful. So I ended up staying home and started relaxing for like 4 hours before I started making this video. So, yeah. There was some experiences I've had with school buses that were... Now, you guys are lucky that I wasn't even talking about all of my school experiences. That would be like, oh my gosh, that would be like, a whole nother video, maybe 2. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Maybe actually I can make that a video if I get enough likes. Then guess what happens next? Cops. Wee woo, wee woo, wee oh.